Hello, good evening. My name is Richard, and this is over and over and over again the Arsenal podcast. This is our weekly Arsenal women's show. It's been a great start to the season for the Arsenal women, and it's been great to talk about it on this show every week. It's going to be a great show, a lot of great stuff to talk about. We'll be looking back on the win against Brighton, FA Cup final now to look forward to as well, which is going to be great, of course. Also as well, there's a big game this weekend at home to West Ham. We're in good form, actually, so we'll talk about them as well. And of course, next midweek is the return of the Champions League. We've got a tricky-looking game, actually, away in Denmark, so we'll talk about that as well. Of course, I'm not going to be doing it on my own. We will have a great panel joining me, as always, and it'll be coming up the other side of this. So I say welcome to the Arsenal Women's Show, episode 8 actually already. Wow, we've done, this will be the 8th show. It's gone pretty quick. Of course, joining me tonight, as always, is of course Andreas. How are you this week?
Not too bad. Good evening, everybody. Looking forward to the show. I hope you're okay too, Richard.
Yeah, no, I'm very well indeed. Looking forward to this, of course, as always. And welcome back, actually, to Harry. He's not been on for a while. He's generally busy on a Friday, but he's given up some time tonight to be with us again. So it's really good to have you back, Harry. You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, it's always hard to try and make it on Fridays, but I love to be here. I love to talk about Arsenal women's team. It's to be fair, it's all I ever talk about to my clients. So it's all I ever do.
Excellent. Well, that's great. And, we can talk about it tonight as well. Hopefully, Matt can join us a little bit later. He's been delayed tonight at work. And we have hopefully got a very special guest, a West Ham women's fan who is going to be hopefully joining us as well. He's also been delayed at work today. Must be one of them days because I was actually delayed at work as well. And I've been rushing around to get here tonight. But we've managed to get everything sorted. But there's only one place really, I suppose, that we can start this show. Of course, that was last Sunday. Absolutely brilliant result in the end. A brilliant performance as well. And we are going back to Wembley. So it's a tough game, as we predicted last week on the show. We knew it was going to be. Brighton were very solid defensively for long periods of that game, certainly in the first half. But in the end, our quality shone through, as it has done so often this season. A couple of little tweaks from Jonas at half time as well. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of the performance? It was kind of how we anticipated, wasn't it? I think the game.
It was a very difficult first half, and to be honest, I was a bit concerned at halftime because it was not as we saw them in the last matches. It was difficult, not too many chances, and Brighton did a really good job in the defense, but at halftime, Jonas changed something, and with the beginning of the second half, it was a different match. And once again, Kim was the one who broke the chain. So, and a wonderful goal she made. And then Beth Mead, as always in the last weeks, great with the second goal. The second half was totally different. It was this was the Arsenal women as they were in playing so far in this season. But the first half was really difficult. But not to forget, it was a knockout match, so it's always different.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I mean, I knew Brighton would sit back. We mentioned it last week on the show. They were solid defensively, and I wouldn't say I was concerned at half time. Brighton hadn't really offered a threat, had they, going forward. But when it's 0-0, you never know that the next goal is always going to be important. And luckily, like you said, Kim Little once again, captain fantastic, broke the deadlock with it. It was a well worked goal again. It was Beth Mead at the heart of it, wasn't there? And a lovely little finish from close in. I mean, Harry, did you think that we did miss Viv? Obviously rested for this game, and we did lack a goal threat certainly in the first half. Do you think that was a factor maybe in why we took so long to break them down?
No, I don't. I don't think we missed Viv, and nothing against Viv. Viv is one of our absolute key players, though Beth is certainly coming into that. I think it was necessary to rest Viv. Jonas made a very good comment on that, saying, she needs her rest, and having that attitude will mean that she'll stay with us for longer. She'll play for longer. It'll increase her career years. So I don't think we missed her. I think that it was expected that Brighton would really, that their defense was excellent, absolutely excellent. I don't think it's anything we did wrong. I think we just, I mean, you saw Beth go into the box ready for a goal, and there were 3, 4, 5 people right on her. I mean, you couldn't break it through. The only fear that I had was not that the lack of goals, because I thought the goals were going to be coming. I mean, somebody got the stats on the how many shots we had. It was ridiculous, non-target. But Dan Castle with the ball had, I think, 2 breaks, and I was feeling a little bit worried about that. I mean, we needed a good save from Manny. Was that in the second half? I might be skipping to the second half there.
That was the second half. Yeah, that was the second half. But it was only 1-0, I think, at that stage, though. So that would have been an important goal.
It's no, I think that we played a good game in that first half. We were trying, and what seemed to me was we were coming down the middle in that first half, getting into the box, trying to score from the box.
Yeah.
And then Jonas seemed to put them out on the wings, and Beth was coming in from the wings, which that beautiful set play of, crossing it in, that little flick from Kim. Kim was playing a bit at the back for, she's sort of a defensive midfielder in the first half, and then came forward before she went back again. So I think it's real good thinking the way Jonas does it.
Yeah, no, it was. And I mean, he even said himself, didn't he, after the game, he felt as though the midfield were too deep in that first half at times. And I thought they were as well. Watching the game, you could kind of see that maybe, we didn't really need to be that deep when we were the team, putting the pressure on, looking to score the goal. And obviously he noticed at half time, tweaked it, and it paid off quite early on when it was Kim that broke into the box, as we used to her doing, and getting the goal, getting on the end of things, which, she's made a career of that, hasn't she, at Arsenal all throughout her career. Anyway, so that first goal was important, wasn't it? And I thought after that, it became fairly not comfortable as such, but I felt a lot more relaxed. And I had no doubt after the first goal that we were going to win and go through to Wembley. I don't think there was much doubt in my mind. Did you feel the same as that, Andreas, once we scored, that Brighton probably wasn't going to be able to find a way back?
Yeah, it's, as I said, it was a knockout match. So after we had scored the first goal, Brighton had to try something more. They couldn't wait because 1-0, they are out. So it made everything easier for us. And as Harry said, in the first half, we were too much coming through the middle, and our wingers were not so dangerous as we knew from other matches. And this was what the change Jonas did. And never forget, we rested Viv and Tobin Heath. So which team is able to let such 2 players out in a semi-final? So it shows the depth of our squad. And I think Caitlin made a good match too. She had 2 really good chances in the first half, and she would have deserved a goal. I think she would need this to score, and she's waiting for this breakthrough, but nevertheless, she made a good match, I think.
I mean, I was going to sort of mention, because obviously Caitlin Ford and Nikita Parris were both sort of in the side. They've not been maybe starting as many games in the WSL as they maybe would have liked to have done. I mean, I kind of agree. I thought Caitlin Ford played pretty well, but she seemed to be lacking a little bit of confidence in front of goal. A couple of chances, if she'd been playing more regularly, I think she may well have stuck at least one of them away. So there was that header, wasn't there, in the first half, which I thought she should really have scored. But Nikita Parris's performance did worry me a little bit. What did you make of her, Harry? Because I didn't feel as though she worked hard, don't get me wrong, but it's not quite happening for her, is it, for us yet? Are you a bit concerned?
I've said this before in times when I've been on, that I like to be fairly kind to the players. The fact is, she's a new player into the team. She hasn't quite gelled with the playing style. She seems to run take off before the ball's sort of being sent to her, and she may be going the wrong direction, and I don't think that's down to her. I think that's just gelling with the team, just getting into the format of play. Caitlin, of course, has had an extra 1 season, 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So And I thought Caitlin done very well. Again, she was just being man-marked the entire time. So, yeah, I think, I mean, that header that you mentioned is perhaps the delivery from Maritz. Just one of those things that, she should have maybe just something, but get it in. But, it's all about, there's two parts of that puzzle. There's the delivery and the header. But no, I don't think, I'm not worried about Nix. I think she's got what it takes. I think she presents a real threat. It's just another tool in our box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I just felt as though maybe on Sunday it was a big opportunity for her, obviously getting a start in a team without Viv playing. And I never really felt that she totally grabbed that opportunity. I mean, what did you make of her performance, Andreas, overall on Sunday, Nikita?
It's very difficult for her. She's very rarely in the starting 11. So on Sunday, she had the chance, but the pressure is high, and the pressure is growing more and more with every game in which she doesn't score. So we should see her workload for the team, and she's really working hard. She never gives up. She runs for every ball, and I think time is needed, but she is important for the team, and I'm sure she will score, and she will be more important through the season. No,
I agree. I do think she's going to still play an important role, and I don't think she's necessarily been playing badly. I kind of agree with what you both said there. Yeah, obviously she needs to settle into the style maybe a bit more as well, and adapt to suit the way that we want her to play maybe, and it's not quite worked totally yet for her, but we know the quality that she's got, and we know she's going to score goals. I mean, she scored goals in the WSL previously, so there's no reason why in this team that attacks as much as we do, the opportunities that we create, that she's not going to score plenty of goals. It's just at the moment, for one reason or another. And I was just a little bit disappointed that it didn't quite work for her. I wasn't disappointed in her so much. More, I was disappointed that it didn't work for her on the day, because I was desperate for her to score, because I felt as though she could have got a goal. Sorry?
It hasn't quite come together yet.
No.
And Beth was having that last season. She was having it where she wasn't quite come. But when you looked at the stats last season, Beth was top of assists. But that goal scoring wasn't there. It was all down to Viv. All down to Viv was scoring all the goals. Even Lisa Evans last year had a similar sort of thing, though she was blighted by injury a lot. So I think Nikita Parris, she might need a season to settle, or at least half a season to settle. That's a real problem. But I actually see what you're saying, because there's some other players who have just come in, like Frida, who has settled. I mean, she's just got off to a flying start.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's different as well. I mean, Frida plays in midfield, and maybe there's a different pressure there, and maybe her style suits how we're playing, so she hasn't really had to adapt too much differently to how she was playing before. And I suppose there's different factors, but I mean, you have to look at the fact that obviously, Nikita's new to the team, but as you said, other players are new as well and have come in. And I mean, but she's not really playing that much either, really, is she? And I mean, she's had an impact in a few games, but she's another one maybe that needs more time on the pitch, perhaps, more minutes to be maybe starting some games. I mean, what are we thinking about her so far? I mean, Andreas is. But again, it's not quite happening, is it, for her? But then she's not playing enough.
Yeah, she had a great start in the season, especially the preseason, the Champions League qualifiers, etc. And now she's lacking time. She's lacking minutes on the pitch. But we all know how good she is, how good her techniques are, and of course she needs more minutes. But whom do you want to take out? It's difficult. We have such quality, and unfortunately we have no injuries. So it's every week a difficult decision for Jonas to take. There's Beth, there's Viv, Caitlin, Mana, Katie, who's playing on the wings, Nikita. It's difficult. So they all must be patient and work hard in training. And as long as the atmosphere in the team is okay, and this seems to be, they all seem to work for each other. So far, that's okay.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's difficult, isn't it, to keep so many quality players happy when they can't all play at the same time because there's just not enough spaces in the team. You can't play 11 attacking players. You have to have some defenders in as well, don't you, as well, to even it out. So it is hard, and it's a tough job for Jonas, actually, because it must be difficult for him. You know, there's some big players in there that you've mentioned that are not playing regularly in the team, and I agree. Who do you leave out? You know, if we're going to put Manu in there, who do we leave out? You know, who do we leave out to get Nikita in every week? It's so tough, isn't it? And you know, obviously this week Viv was missing. Caitlin came in, and I agree. I thought she played well. Unfortunate not to get a goal. And yeah, but it's good to have them options, isn't it? Because as you rightly said there, Andrea, so far we've had no injuries really, but that may well change, and we might need all these players as the season goes on because we've got a lot of things to play for, a lot of big games coming up. So yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's difficult for Jonas, and I do feel a little bit. I feel for him a little bit because it must be every week he must sit down with the team. It must be so tough for him, mustn't it, to know which team to pick for each game. And you know, it's a good. I suppose it's better to have that headache than not have enough players. And like last year when we couldn't even fill the bench because we didn't have enough fit players. So you know, I suppose it's a better problem to have, really, isn't it? But obviously, the result on Sunday was the most important thing, and I wasn't particularly bothered how we played as long as we won the game because that was the most important thing. But of course, having earlier in the day, of course, seen the other semi-final, so I did want to kind of briefly talk about that, and obviously the upcoming big game at Wembley as well. Obviously, we've met Chelsea before in the FA Cup final and other cup finals in recent years, and not always done as well as we might have liked. Although, of course, we have won as well. But I guess we kind of felt it was going to be Chelsea going through, didn't we? I mean, it's a really exciting game to look forward to, though, isn't it? Because I think it's the two top teams. It's the game everybody wanted, I think, anyway, for the final, and it's going to be a great occasion. But obviously, a really tough game. I mean, what did you make of the Chelsea-Man City semi-final, Andreas? What did you kind of make of the game?
First of all, it's the final I wanted to have, and I'm happy to see two German internationals in the final now with Anne-Kathrin Berger and Melanie Leupolz for Chelsea. Melanie Leupolz scored the goal, and the first 20 minutes, Man City was as strong as we expected them from the beginning of the season. And then after Chelsea had scored the first goal by Aaron Cuthbert, then the game totally changed and Chelsea was in control. Then the second by Melly Leupolz came, and it was never in doubt in the second half. Chelsea was controlling it, and it was really deserved winning. And the final minutes, this wonderful save from Anne-Kathrin Berger. I saw this ball in the net already, and she brought her fingers on the ball. So it will be really a tough match against Chelsea. But what can you have better than Chelsea versus Arsenal at Wembley? The two top teams this season so far, and in this location, fantastic. So I think every player will be happy to face. Our players will be happy to face Chelsea, and the Chelsea players, or Emma Hayes said, they want to face Arsenal because this is the challenge they want to have. They want to win the cup, but they want to beat the best opponent. And both teams really deserve this. They were better in both semi-finals, and it's a fantastic final.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's the dream final almost, isn't it? You know, the two top teams in the country this season going head to head. Of course, we've got one over them already, haven't we? That first game of the season, and you could see when Emma was interviewed after the game that she, you know, when she was asked who she wanted to win the other one, you know, she said Arsenal, didn't she? And you could see that revenge was on her mind. You could see it in her face when she mentioned it. You know, she'll be desperate to get one back over us, won't she, in that final? There's no doubt about that. So I think it's going to be a really good game, actually. I think it's going to be a great advert for women's football. I mean, Harry, what did you make of Chelsea in the semi-final? I thought they were helped out by the Manchester City goalkeeper for those first two goals in particular, wasn't they? But they did deserve to win.
They absolutely. I mean, they've got a great team. They deserve to win. City are a historically very good team. They've got a great squad, but they are blighted by a lot of injuries at the moment, which is not helping them. You know, that there's a reason that they're not sitting at the top of the tables where they used to sit. So I think in some respects, Chelsea, I don't want to say had it easy. I mean, we had it effectively easy with Brighton. But this is the final that everyone wants to see. Yeah. I have no fear I have no fear. We've beaten them once. We didn't just. It wasn't a 1-0 victory. I mean, we beat them. We beat them fair and square. We played really well. They're defensively, Chelsea are not as strong as they should be. They've got definite weaknesses there. I'm not saying that we don't, but we've got one of our own, and Lee Williamson will hold that wall. So I think with who we've gotten on our squad, and with the energy that Jonas brings, I mean, he's going to be louder on the sidelines. If he doesn't get a yellow card at the Chelsea game, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, no, he's bound to. Yeah, I agree.
If he's watching this, I want him to get a yellow card.
Yeah, no, you can see that happening because he's very passionate on the side, isn't he? Which is great. We like to see that, don't we? And I'm sure, obviously, for a game of that size against an opponent like Chelsea, he's going to be very, very excitable, shall we say? As I'm sure we all will. You know, it's going to be a great game, and it is, as you said, the final everybody wanted to see. And yeah, it's going to be a tough game. You expect it to be tough in the final, don't you? But I agree. I wouldn't say I've got fear of Chelsea. I respect them as an opponent. You know, it's going to be tough, and we're going to have to play at our best. And you know, we did on that opening game of the season, and we got a victory. And we'll need to play at least as good again, because I don't think Chelsea are going to, you know, not go down without a fight or more of a fight. They had a hard fight last time, but having lost that game, you can just see that Emma just is going to want that so badly. And you know, it's how we maybe deal with that as well, because we know we can beat them because we have, and we've got that monkey off our back a little bit, because I think that was hanging over us because we hadn't beaten them for a long time, and it was nice to get that out of the way already. I'd have been more worried going into the final if we hadn't beat them, if maybe they beat us that first game. So it's good to have got that win. But yeah, it's going to be a great game, isn't it? I've got my tickets today actually, so I'm looking forward to going because that's going to be great. Are you going, Harry, as well?
No, I'm not. I might try to. I might try to get the tickets if I can. It's a tough one because I'm going to a few games. I'm quite looking forward to the Barca game, which I'm not convinced we're going to win, but I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah.
But no, but doesn't the final come in a really busy week?
Yeah, well, it's a week before Barcelona. It's the Sunday before Barcelona, isn't it? So it is coming at a big time of the season as well, isn't it? You know, a lot of WSL games in the meantime as well.
Before, so it's okay, but
yeah, well, it is before, but even so, you know, you've still got that game. I mean, that game may well be crucial to us getting through out of the group as well. So, and it's at the Emirates as well, so it'll be an exciting time for everybody. I know are you still coming down to that game, Andreas, the Barcelona game?
Yeah, I'm coming to the Barcelona game, so I can't come to the final. But anyway, I'll see the final on TV, and then I'll be in the Emirates. So it will be a fantastic week for me too.
Yeah, no, really a busy week traveling. I mean, I'll be going, I'll say, to Wembley on the Sunday, so that's going to be really good. Excited about that. Really a big day and a big game, and it's good to be. It'll be great to be there to experience it. It's going to be a great experience, I'm sure. But that's all to come a bit later, and obviously when we get closer to the time, we'll review this game in a little bit more detail. You know, when it comes along, we've got a lot of games coming up before that. Of course, none more so than, of course, this Sunday, a big game actually, a London derby against a team that are in good form. So West Ham, I mean, you know, we've traditionally got a great record against them over recent years since they got promoted to the WSL. But they're on a good run of form. They've seen, you know, they've got a new coach, haven't they, as well, who's come in, and they look as though they're a difficult team to break down and to beat. A bit similar maybe to what we've had against Brighton and maybe Aston Villa as well earlier this season. You know, teams that are going to probably sit deep and you know, try to soak up the pressure. I mean, Andreas, what are you anticipating from this game? Because West Ham are certainly, you know, start of the season, it's not going to be anything like that on Sunday, is it?
No, it could be similar to the Brighton game, I think. But West Ham had a good start. I just checked their results. What we all remember is their 2-0 winning at Man City. This was, of course, a highlight and maybe a breakthrough for them in their minds. They know they can beat the big teams now. Because the City is still a big team. They have still great players. Also, they deal with injuries, and therefore, I think they will come with a lot of confidence. And it won't be too easy for us.
No.
Let's see.
No, I agree. I'm anticipating a very similar game to Brighton actually, because I could just, I can see they're quite similar. I think in terms of what they can offer the game. I mean, obviously it's the Lisa Evans derby. Maybe we can call it that, since she's on loan at West Ham. I mean, Harry, can she actually play? Is there any rules? I mean, in the Premier League you can't play, can you? Can you play in the
I think they need special permission to play.
Right.
I think they have to be granted permission to play. That's my understanding of it. Who else is on loan at the moment?
The Brighton goalkeeper, Fran Stenson's on loan at Brighton, isn't she?
Yeah, and then there's another. I sometimes forget the names. There's somebody on loan, and she's fine to play, but they have declined it before. I don't think Lisa will be playing. I don't think she's too good.
Do you think she won't play because we won't let her play, or she's not going to play because she won't get picked? No,
we won't let her play.
You think?
I don't think we will. No, that's my prediction. You'll never really know, but I don't think we'll allow her to play.
No, well, it might be a good decision. Like you said, she's going to be one of their better players without a shadow of a doubt. So,
yeah.
I mean,
she's also one of my favourite players. I'm very disappointed about this.
Well, yeah, I mean, would she have got in the team now, though? I suppose with the players that we've got, that's the other kind of question. Perhaps, I don't know. I mean, it could work out.
Injuries.
Yeah, injuries, exactly. But she suffered, hasn't she, a lot herself with injuries. She's been injured this season already at West Ham, hasn't she? She's not really played that much, actually, which is a shame. I mean, what are you anticipating from West Ham, and Harry, for this Sunday? Do you think it's going to be another case of us having to be patient for the breakthrough?
Yeah, I think it could be very similar to the Brighton game, but I think once we unleash, that's it. I mean, the difference with the Brighton game is it was a knockout competition. So when we were 1-0 up, it's not over for Brighton at that stage. They could still come back, but they have to put everything into it. They've got to put everything into it. There's no choice. Otherwise, they're out. Which means that it opens them up totally for mistakes, which is exactly what happened. And their defensive just got broken down and we just ran all over them. There's a possibility that if West Ham play a similar sort of game, 1-0 down, they're going to play for a draw. Yeah. So they're not going to play. They don't have to play for a win. They can play for a draw, which means that they don't have to take as many risks. But I still think that once we're 1-0 down, they need to push for that draw, which opens up for mistakes. And ultimately, I think it's going to be another 4-0, 3-0 type victory.
Okay, well, I mean, that would be fantastic. I mean, to be honest, at the moment, I just want us to win every game, whether it's 1-0, whether it's 5-0, whatever it is, just win the games. And I think that's what we need to keep doing, keep the pressure on Chelsea behind us, because obviously we don't want to let them back in. We've got that gap and we want to keep it, don't we? So every game is really vitally important for us. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think West Ham will try and keep it tight. They're going to, deny us space. I think you can see that seems to be happening on a regular basis now in the WSL. And it's good in a way that there's teams that don't just roll over. You have to work hard to get the wins now, don't you? I say we did beat West Ham 9-1 last year. And I don't think we're going to see many games like that in the WSL this season, because the teams seem to be a lot more organised and a lot stronger. Even the technically weaker teams from previous years have got stronger this season, I think. They certainly seem to have done. So, it is going to be. I think it's going to be another long 90 minutes, because we're going to have to be patient and work hard. And you'd imagine that the team's going to be shuffled. I mean, Andreas, what sort of starting 11 would you be anticipating for this game? Obviously, we've had a week since the Brighton game. A few players were rested, as we said. Do you think he's going to make a few changes, or do you think he may stick with a lot of the players that played last week?
No, I think he will bring Viv and Tobin back. I think yes. And maybe he'll give Kim a rest. She would need it, or Leah also played all the time. The internationals, maybe he will give them a rest, but it's difficult. And the problem is, the longer it takes until we score, then the pressure will be more and more on us, because in this match, West Ham would be satisfied with a 0-0. They would be really happy with the draw, what Brighton couldn't do. In a knockout match, you can't say, oh, we're playing 0-0. And there's extra time and penalties, but you have to win the knockout match. But West Ham doesn't have to win. If they take 1 point, it would be a bonus for them. It's very normal that they lose the match at Arsenal. But if they take 1 point, it's a bonus. So they will do everything to defend, and the longer it takes for us to score, the more difficult the task will be.
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah, and should West Ham even get the first goal, then imagine how much more difficult that will be, because if they've got a lead to hang on to, let's just hope that, let's hope that doesn't happen, because that would certainly be a very difficult game then, wouldn't it, if we were 1-0 down. But let's hope that doesn't happen. I mean, I believe we've only conceded 1 goal at Boreham Wood since February, actually, which was that goal against Tottenham this season in the FA Cup. The other goals that we've conceded at home were at the Emirates, obviously, against Chelsea, and we've kept clean sheets every other game at home. So certainly defensively, we've been good. And you mentioned Leah Williamson just then. I mean, she's been unbelievable, hasn't she, this season? I mean, she's just getting better and better every single game she plays. It's like you don't think she can play any better, and then suddenly she plays again and she's even better than the last game. It's like, wow, what's going on?
I mean, sometimes she needs a rest too. She's playing all the time.
Yeah, she does. No, you're right.
Internationals, Champions League. She was at the Olympics. Yeah, but it's fantastic how she plays this season. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. She's been brilliant. I mean, Harry, are you expecting a lot of changes from last week for the team, or I suppose like Viv and Tobin Heath, as Andreas has said, are more likely to come in? But can you see there being too many other changes? I mean, Kim Little then possibly. Do you reckon she might get arrested?
No, I don't. I cannot see a starting lineup without Kim Little and Leah Williamson. I can see if we're up a bunch of goals, I could see him bringing Leah off or Kim off for rest, and then changing up in that way to rest him in that respect. I think we might. So I'm predicting we'll definitely see Leah. We'll definitely see Kim Little. I think Viv will be starting. I don't know why I think this, but I think we saw that starting lineup. Was it, how many times have we seen Viv and Tobin starting lineup together? Is it just the once, or have we seen
once? I think, I think it's just once, isn't it? That was in the Hoffenheim game, wasn't it? I think. And
I don't. I just get this feeling like that's going to happen a bit more, because I think that could be an unbelievable link up. I mean, Tobin Heath, I think she's flying off the shelf. I mean, she's brilliant. I mean, really good. I think she fits in nicely. She loves Arsenal. So I'd love to see what they can do together. And I think they just need game time. I think Kim Little will be starting. You know, she's our captain. We can't do it without Captain Kim. Maybe Jen Beattie might be rested. So maybe Lotta comes in. Maybe this, that sort of changes on the back line, possibly. I expect Katie McCabe's going to be less defensive and more on the front wing, because last Brighton game she was defensive. She's coming back, wasn't she? I think a game without Katie McCabe scoring a cracker is I feel like we haven't won unless she's scored.
At the moment, it seems to be like it's not, like you said, it's not really an Arsenal game, is it? Without a fantastic goal from Katie McCabe at the moment,
exactly.
She's absolutely bossing it, isn't she? Brilliant performances.
I think Jordan might be rested.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
Because she's had injuries.
Yeah,
she's recovering. But I am just crying out for a Jordan goal. I mean, she scores the goals like Katie does. She just scores something out. You don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
And I want to see that, because Jordan's one of my favourites.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic. And I think, like you said, she's just coming back from an injury, and maybe she's not quite 100% back on a full game yet, maybe, and perhaps she does need a bit more time. I mean, if Katie was going to play sort of more forward down the left-hand side, where would you play Tobin Heath then? Because that's an issue, isn't it?
Well, Katie doesn't play that far forward, does she? She's always sort of on the rear side, but she tends to play sort of in the middle to forward rather than back to forward. Yeah. So she's a bit more of she's such a versatile player.
Yeah.
But she's so instrumental in the goals. But she's still sort of, when you look at the formation, she's there at the back, but No, I don't think it'll affect Tobin in that way. It's hard to say. What did they do last time when Tobin was playing? How did they link up there? I'm trying to remember.
Katie played left back, didn't she? I think she just played left back that game. And then Tobin
Yeah.
Heath was sort of left of the front three, wasn't she? And then I think it was Manham and Leah Walty in midfield with Kim Little, wasn't it? I think that was how we lined up in that game to start with.
Yeah, I think you're. Yeah.
And then so sort of Katie was playing. I mean, wherever she plays down that left hand side, she gets forward anyway. She'll always get forward and get crosses in because that's just what she does. So it makes not a lot of difference. I mean, I'll be quite happy for her to play left back with Tobin Heath maybe playing in front of her, and she's going to bomb on anyway and do what she does.
Yeah, because she's always in the box. She'll end up in the box somewhere or other.
Yeah, of course she will. And no doubt she will have a shot from 25 yards that will go in the top corner. And we'll all be talking about it next week. Brilliant it was again. But no, I mean, it's going to be interesting, actually. And, we've mentioned it so many times on this show, how many options that we've got in lots of positions, particularly the attacking area of the pitch. We have got...
the attacking midfield. I mean, I've got to say, I'd like to see Frida start because I think that the combination of Frida starting and then if she's taken off, Mana coming in, I think Mana's unbelievable. I think I really see something there. I mean, she's scored 2 goals now for us.
2 in the WSL, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so she's already hit the ground running. She's got absolute pace on her. She reminds me of Daniel van der Donk when she was playing. I mean, she'd just be all over the place. She'd run that pitch. And Frida is a more solid, like physically solid person, and you can't get. Yeah. She sort of dominates in that way.
Yeah.
Whereas Mana will get the ball, just keep getting the ball up, and she'll like zigzag between the players, and feed it that way. So I think they're 2 dynamic players. Get rid of it. She's a game changer, isn't she? She'll come on and just completely change the dynamics.
Yeah, like she did against Aston Villa when we were struggling for a goal. She came on at half time and hoped to open that game up. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure whether or not, when we're playing at home to West Ham, and we are expected to beat, it's not going to be easy, as we've said, but, would you play maybe Frida and Leah Walty and Kim Little? I don't know if we need 3 players like that. You'd maybe want to put maybe a more attacking player maybe in there to start with, maybe take Leah Walty out maybe, or, rather than filling it with more. I mean, I know sort of Frida gets up and down the pitch. I wouldn't call her a defensive player as such, but
no.
You wouldn't really call her an attacking player. I know she's got a couple of goals and a brilliant goal against Everton, but I wouldn't really call her an attacking player either. Is she really? She's just an all-round kind of midfielder. And I don't know whether her and Leah Walty in a home game against West Ham is what we need in there to start with. Maybe more expansive players, perhaps. I don't know. It's just what I'm thinking, because we know how defensive West Ham are probably going to be set up. I mean, what do you think about that, Andreas? What do you think for the midfield then? Because obviously, it's on the onus is on us, isn't it, to attack and try and get the goals, being at home against a team that we should, on paper, be.
Yeah, this could be an opportunity to let Leah Walty out and bring Frida Manum. She can play the defensive role in midfield, but also she brings a lot forward then, and she's more the worker, and Mana needs more freedom to do what she feels, what she thinks at the moment. You can't press her in a position. So as I said, Frida is more the hard worker in the team, and we need Frida or Leah Walty. Maybe in a home match, not both of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's my thoughts exactly. I think certain away games when it's going to be tough, when teams are going to be expected to attack us a bit more, then I think those 2 can work really well. But yeah, maybe in a home game against a team like West Ham, no disrespect to West Ham, but a game we're expected to win, that maybe be a little bit more attacking from the start, because we've found it difficult, haven't we? Or not so much difficult, but we've found it's taken us a long time to break down a number of teams this season. Aston Villa was 0-0 at half time. Brighton was 0-0 at half time. There's been a few games, hasn't there, where we've really struggled to break down a team that are defending deep, and we've took our time to do it. And we've just been relentless, haven't we, with our attack? We just attack after attack after attack, and eventually the other team have caved in, haven't they? Just probably because out of exhaustion more than anything else. Defending that much in the game, it's hard, isn't it? And then eventually the quality that we've got, but I've been so impressed with that kind of relentlessness about our attack. We just keep going and keep going. And, you know, eventually we blow them away, don't we? Every team virtually we've played this season, we've blown away in the end, just by not just giving up and not losing patience, which would be easy to do, wouldn't it? When, you know, you've seen it in the men's team quite a lot. You know, when you struggle to break down a low block, if you like, they just can't. They run out of steam a little bit. But the women don't, do they? They just batter away until the goal comes, and then one comes, and then 2 and 3 and 4 arrive soon after. Usually, that's how it's gone so far, anyway, isn't it? Certainly, and it's great to watch, isn't it? We've got to enjoy that really, and hope that Sunday will be similar. I mean, Andreas, what would be your score prediction then for West Ham? I know obviously Harry's pretty confident. Are you as confident, or do you think it's going to be a little bit closer than that?
No, at this time I'll say 2-0, because I think our defense did really work well in the last matches, and why should we concede against West Ham? Maybe we'll get a clean sheet, and then we should score 2 goals, I hope. And if Wiff is back, if Tobin is playing, so maybe we'll see another goal from Katie. We don't know what she's doing. Maybe she hits from 20 or 30 yards, another goal. So Katie has a very impressive season so far, and yeah, she's not the most talented player, but if you see her muscles, you know how hard she was working for to come where she is now. So really impressive season so far, and don't forget Beth is also there, and her best season for years, maybe ever, her best season ever, and she's good for a goal. So I say 2-0 this time.
Well, I'll take 2-0. 2-0 would be fantastic, wouldn't it? I mean, West Ham don't not scoring many goals, are they? I know they scored 4 against Leicester, but they've been, you know, they're finding it difficult to score goals. They're quite solid at the back, so yeah, maybe 2-0 could be a reasonable. Well, are you going to still say 4-0 then, Harry? Is that your final prediction?
I think it's going to be a 3 or a 4-0. I think once the floodgates open, that's it. I think that, I mean, when you look at West Ham, they're doing well, but they've got what? Am I correct in two draws? They've had 2 draws and 2 wins and 1 loss.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you know, so they're beatable. B, they can be scored against. You know, and I don't think they've got the strongest team. I think we're so much stronger. It's not like I mean, Spurs are doing really well, which is a bit of a surprise and always disappointing. And you know, Chelsea, of course, you know, and when it comes to they're doing very well, but I really think 3 or 4-0. I think Manu's playing phenomenal. I think she's really up to her game. So we're not conceding.
No, we're not conceding. Especially at home, we haven't conceded. I say just 1 goal at Boreham Wood for 9 or 10 months. So it just shows how solid we are at the back. And obviously Leah Williamson is also popping up with goals as well. 3 already this season, which is more than she's ever scored in the season before. So she might pop up with another one. You know, we've scored a lot of goals from corners, haven't we? Actually, this season. There's been quite a few. Ruben Moy's got a couple. Leah Williamson's got a couple, and we obviously we've got great set piece delivery, haven't we? I mean, Katie McCabe's corners are brilliant, aren't they? And Beth as well. So we've got great delivery there. So yeah, I mean, why not go for 4-0? That's be great. I mean, obviously, if Matt was here, he'd no doubt be predicting a 2-0 defeat, because that's what he tends to do, which is great because he's always wrong, and we want him to stay wrong every week, don't we? Because that's what we can do. But yeah, I think we'll win, and I'll maybe go 3-0 because it seems to be 3-0 seems to be our popular score at the minute, doesn't it? We seem to beat everybody 3-0. Everton was 3-0, Brighton was 3-0. So I'm going to go with 3-0. It's a popular score at the minute, so that's what I'll go with. But obviously, we'll see. I'll settle for any victory will do for me as long as we win. But yeah, it'd be nice to see a few goals, wouldn't it? Are you going to the game, Harry? Are you going?
I you know what? Because the game was supposed to be Saturday, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
so it was in my diary. I was ready to go. The kids, I had it all planned out, taking the kids, and then they went and changed it to 6:45 on a Sunday, and I'm like, it just that kills bedtime. So,
I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because I think we're all happy that the Sky and TV have got involved in women's football this season, but it does lead, and it will lead again to some moving the games, kickoff times, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to have to maybe suffer some of that, because obviously we're the best team in the league, and everyone wants to watch it. So we're going to have a lot of these kickoff time. But yeah, I agree. It's a strange time to kick off, isn't it? that time on a Sunday evening. I know it's because maybe the Premier League games are on. Obviously, the men play 2:00 on Sunday afternoon, so I guess they've got to try and squeeze it around everything else. But yeah, maybe playing it on a Saturday evening might have been a better bet. Maybe, I don't know, rather than a Sunday. But anyway,
yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have been there. But it's. I mean, I'd go on my own, but it's too late for me to take the kids, and I do it for the kids. You know, they want to see it. They'll be upset with me if I don't.
No, I understand that. Yeah, I've had the same issues before. So we've got a comment in the chat there from Imperative Views. It says 2-0 as well. So yeah, we'll all be happy days if that's the case. Let's hope so. Of course, it's not the only game this week, is it? Because on Wednesday night we're back in Champions League. And I think it's going to be a tricky game. I don't know what you guys think. We'll have a little chat about this. I've got to be honest, I don't know too much about this team. I know that they're unbeaten in their domestic league, but I'm guessing their domestic league isn't the strongest. But anyway, they are top. They won it last year, and they're certainly going well. And they gave Barcelona a difficult game on their pitch, didn't they? Their artificial pitch. So, what are we thinking about this then, Harry? I know you got a shoot in a minute. Just give us your quick thoughts on the FC Koge game, or Koge, whatever you want to call them, on Wednesday. What are you anticipating it?
I don't know the correct name the correct word for it, but I think we'll be fine. I think we'll win the game. I think it might not be as much as West Ham. I think 2-0, 2-1, because they're in the Champions League, so you've got to take them seriously. They gave, like you said, I didn't watch the game, but I saw the I saw the stuff on Twitter about it. They gave Barcelona a bit of trouble. So I think 2-1, but I think we'll win.
No, well, I mean, again, a victory is what we need, because this group's going to be tight with us and Hoffenheim. I think we all know that. So we need to win every game and hope that we can go over to Hoffenheim and get a result over there and go through. But yeah, I mean, I'll take a 2-1 without a shadow of a doubt. That'd be fantastic and put us in a good position in the group, because obviously Hoffenheim play Barcelona, and you'd imagine Barcelona will probably win. But again, you know, football's not like that always, is it? So we'll see. I know you've got to shoot off, Harry. I mean, thanks again for coming on. Been a pleasure to catch up with you again. And great to hear your views on the Arsenal women, as always. No doubt we will speak again very soon. Hopefully you have to get yourself back on the show if you can. I know Fridays aren't a good night for you.
Absolute pleasure. I love it. It's a lot of fun for me.
No, it's a pleasure to have you on, as always, and look forward to, speaking to you again very soon. And I know you're not going to the game on Sunday, but enjoy it anyway. I'm sure you'll be watching it, of course. And
Andreas, hopefully we'll meet at the Barca game.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, it would be really nice to see you. Okay.
Cool. All right. See you guys.
Thanks, Harry. Cheers, mate. Speak to you soon. Yeah, take it easy. So that's Harry. He's had to shoot off a bit earlier tonight, but great to have him on again. He's not been on, obviously, the channel since, I think it was the first or second week that we did it. So, and I say he did do a great vlog for us, the Man City game back in September, I think it was. Brilliant video that was, of his experience of the game. We've also won 5-0, which helped as well, I suppose. But a great video that was. I mean, Andreas, do you know much about this Koge team? Imperative Views in the chat there said they were decent against Barca. Well, they certainly seem to be pretty decent against Barca. It took Barcelona over 85 minutes to score, didn't it? So, you know, that suggests a difficult game for us, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah, there are 2 points. It's an away game for us, and is this artificial pitch that made Barcelona problems, and I think it will cause some problems for us too. And of course, Barcelona rested about 7 top players, but nevertheless, they were only 1-0 ahead, and I think the second goal was in the last minutes or in stoppage time. So everybody expects us to win, and of course we have to win this, because the danger is that Hoffenheim could. Maybe they can get 1 point out of the 2 matches against Barcelona, and then we would have a problem. So we must win there, and this makes it so difficult. I'll be very careful for this, and I say we only win 1-0 or 2-1, but 1-0 would be enough. It would be 3 points, and that's all we need.
No, exactly. I mean, you're right. Actually, I think these 2 games against Koge, because Hoffenheim played Barcelona twice, and you don't imagine they're going to get more than 1 point from those 2 games. And I think that they'll have to play well to get 1 point, judging on what we've seen at Barcelona when they played us. So if we can get 6 points in these 2 games, then that will put us in a really strong position, wouldn't it, if that's the case, ahead of obviously the Barcelona game coming up after that. So yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be very difficult. Actually, I do. I think their pitch is going to be a problem for us. They're obviously used to playing on it. Yes, Barcelona rested a lot of players for that game and found it difficult. I think we may well rest a few because we've got a lot of big games coming up, haven't we? You know, it's straight after the West Ham game, and we've got another big WSL game next week as well, haven't we? So I think that we could see a little bit of rotation. It's Tottenham, isn't it, actually, next weekend? So, you know, the North London derby. So that's going to be another game that we need to think about as well. So, yeah, I'll take a 1-0. I'll take a 1-0 every week at the minute if we keep winning. But the way we're playing, you kind of, you know, you're saying it's a game that we would expect to win, but you could say that about pretty much every game at the moment. We're almost expected to win every game, aren't we? The way that we're playing. And, you know, I would say that it's only really Barcelona and Chelsea. I think that looking at the fixture that we've got coming up over the next few weeks, that they're the games that you maybe don't expect us to win, but hope that we can win. You see what I mean? There's a slight difference in it. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. Let's hope we can win because it's really important that we get 6 points in these two games, isn't it?
Yeah,
really
that's what I mean. It's this group stage. It's only 6 matches. 2 already done, so it's not the long season like the WSL where you have 22 matches.
Yeah.
It's only 6 matches, and just think if you might lose there, it would be terrible. The pressure would be extremely for the next matches. So, and this situation causes the pressure. You are not allowed to make mistakes. You are not allowed to lose points there, and this makes it so difficult to combine with the pitch situation. And so, well, it would be fantastic to have an early goal. This could break the chain, but maybe it will take us 60, 70 minutes to score, and then we must be patient and believe in us. So this is why I say maybe only 1-0, but 1-0 would be really enough. I would be totally happy with this.
Yeah, no, I would say every game will do me a 1-0. Imperative Views there in the chat again says it will be tricky, but we should have more than enough to get the job done. Yeah, on paper, I definitely agree. Of course, we should. This is judging by the Barca game; they looked physically imposing, so that could be a different problem then. You know, for us, maybe a different type of opponent, maybe a more physical opponent could cause us a different issue, maybe than some of the teams that we faced so far. But you know, I suppose a physical opponent on an artificial pitch, it's not a great combination maybe to be facing, is it, on a Wednesday night in Denmark? It's going to be cold as well, probably. So it's going to be tricky. It's going to be a tough game, and I'm sure, you know, it'll probably be a lot more difficult than some of the WSL games I think that we've played, because it's unknown, isn't it? It's an unknown opponent, and we don't know too much about them. I'm sure Jonas has looked into it. I'm sure you know more about him anyway. Obviously, coming from that part of the world himself, I'm sure he knows a bit more about them than we do. And let's hope he's got a plan up his sleeve, which I'm sure he will. But so you're going to predict a 1-0 for that game, then, are you, Andreas? Is that what you're going for? 1-0. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think we'll get one, and then we'll get a second later, or maybe similar to Barcelona, perhaps. I'll go 2-0 for that one. So another good win for us, and then we can put the Champions League to one side for a week or so and concentrate on North London derby for next week. But that's all to come a bit later. But I mean, it's been another good week, hasn't it, for Arsenal women? Again, getting to Wembley, really exciting times at the moment, isn't it? Top of the league by 3 points. One cup final already to look forward to. Champions League games coming right, left, and centre at the moment. I mean, it's a great time to be a fan of Arsenal's women, isn't it?
Yeah, and once again, we have the player of the month, we have the manager of the month, and the goal of the month. So, it's fantastic, but all well deserved.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's nice that we're getting the recognition as well, isn't it? Like you said, manager of the month again, 2 in a row, player of the month 2 in a row, goal of the month as well, and we're running our own little goal of the month competition at the moment, aren't we? Some of the goals that we're scoring, it's fantastic, and you know, let's hope that November brings us similar results as well, because this will be our first game in November actually on Sunday, won't it? So let's hope the new month we keep our form going into the colder weather that we've got coming up now. Imperative Views there says Koge have a big US influence. Yeah, I think isn't it American Football Club that owns them or something like that, isn't it? So they sponsor the stadium as well. If I'm not wrong, they have 4 players from there. Yeah, I think they have a couple, don't they? Their forwards look really quick, and we're making runs behind a high defensive line constantly. Oh, well, we'll have to watch for that then, because, you know, we don't have we're not blessed with a lot of pace at the back, are we? Especially if Jen Beattie plays. No disrespect to her, she's a fantastic player, but she's not blessed with a lot of pace, is she? We saw that in Barcelona. She got caught out a few times, but I mean, Leah Williamson tends to tidy up, doesn't she? Anything, she's got a little bit of pace. So, been an interesting game actually. I'm quite looking forward to that, simply because I don't know too much about Koge. It's going to be interesting to find out more about them, isn't it, by watching them play? And you know, it's right in that comment. They have got a big US influence. I say, I'm sure it's an American football team that bought them out a year or so ago. And since then, they've gone on and had great success, won the league for the first time, playing in the Champions League for the first time. And, you know, they're playing Barcelona and Arsenal in the group. So they've got to be delighted with what's going on at their club at the moment. But let's hope that we can put them back in their place again on Wednesday, get the 3 points in the bag, and obviously then look forward to the second game against them at Boreham Wood, which will be a different game at home. I'm sure we saw when they played Hoffenheim beat them quite comfortably, didn't they? And then we beat Hoffenheim reasonably comfortably in the end as well. So you'd imagine we'd be favourites certainly at home. So yeah, another interesting week though, isn't it, coming up? We've had some good times at the minute and a big week of WSL action and the Champions League action as well, so it's going well for us. I mean, thank you very much for coming on again, Andreas. Absolute pleasure again. Brilliant to get your insight into everything to do with the Arsenal women as always. You enjoyed it again?
Yeah. As always, I enjoyed being here. Thank you for having me. And it's, as you said, it's exciting and fantastic times to be a fan of the Arsenal women. So every week is so interesting. And and this TV deal, it's the minus is as Harry mentioned it, for the kids coming to the stadium. The plus on the other side is this match is shown live on TV and on German TV, so I can watch TV on Sunday. So this is the good thing on this different off times. So.
No, it is, and I think as I said, I think we're going to have to maybe suffer some kickoff times that aren't necessarily great for going to the game, but it is giving the game more exposure throughout the world. Obviously, if you can watch it in Germany, that's fantastic, and it is on obviously live on TV in the UK as well on Sky, I think it is. So it is getting more exposure, and I think it's great because the women's game, I think this season in WSL, I mean, I mentioned it before, the quality of the league as a whole has improved, hasn't it? Even the so-called weaker teams of previous seasons have got stronger. They're competing now against the top teams. There's not really easy games anymore. There used to be 4 or 5 big scores a season you'd get, wouldn't you? But now I don't think we're going to see that very often. I think the games are a lot more competitive, and it's great. And the TV deal is going to help that in the future as well, because I'm sure that even teams like West Ham, we've seen, have got some good players now. Brighton, good players there as well. All these teams that before you would have known you was going to beat them pretty much every time. Now you're suddenly thinking, well, you know what, we're going to have to be on our game here. And it's good for the league. Imperative Views in the chat, there's put an interesting point there. Can we talk about Caroline Graham-Hansen? She's recently suffered from heart problems. Let's pray it's not too serious. Yeah, I mean, there seems to be quite a lot of young, healthy sports people seem to be suffering from a few heart issues. Obviously going back to the Euros, of course, with the Danish player, his name just slipped my mind. Ericsson, of course, yes. Ericsson, yeah. So, and there's been lots of other stories recently I've been reading in the news about players at all levels of football, young players, healthy young people that have been suffering from this. I mean, let's hope it isn't too serious. Of course, I mean, what a great player she is as well. So, we wouldn't want to hope nothing serious with that. Wasn't there, is it Sergio Aguero as well, I believe, last week suffered from some heart problems, didn't he, in the game when he was playing? Sergio Aguero. So yeah, as Imperative Views just puts in the chat there, as I mentioned it, he suffered similar thing last weekend as well. So yeah, it's worrying, isn't it? It's a concern, and let's just hope that these guys are going to be okay. I'm sure they get the best treatment and the best care, don't they? So I'm sure they will, and let's hope that it doesn't affect other young players, because it's terrible, really. And luckily, so far, it's not been a serious problem in sport, but it seems to be happening a little bit more regularly. I've noticed, recently, in certainly since the summer, I would say. Obviously the Ericsson one, as we said, was the big story, of course, with it in the Euros, but there's been other ones as well, and it is concerning. But let's hope everybody's going to be fine, and they can all get back to playing football again very soon, because that's what we all want, and that's what we enjoy. So yeah, let's hope that's going to be the case. But yeah, so I say thanks again. I say, Andreas, for joining us tonight, and look forward to the game on Sunday. It's good that you can watch it on the telly, which is great, and I'm sure it'll be a good game. We can enjoy that. What about the Champions League's on YouTube, isn't it? Anyway, so you should be able to watch that. You'll be able to see that game as well.
All Champions League matches are shown on DAZN on TV and on the DAZN YouTube channel for free. So you have two possibilities. If you have this paid TV channel on TV like I have, then it's on TV also. All Champions League matches.
Yeah, I mean, I say it's great, isn't it, that it's getting the coverage it deserves, because it's hopefully more and more people can realise how great women's football is to watch. How exciting it is, and it's great. So hopefully this will be the start of really good times. Petty Views again there says, great show, let's keep up the great run. No, thanks for your support. I know you're always in the chat. You're a big supporter of the show as well, which is great. And thanks to everybody else who's been watching this show tonight and this show on a weekly basis. It's and in Petty Views says it's really convenient indeed. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could describe it like that maybe, but anyway, but yeah, so say thanks to everyone for watching the show and supporting the channel. If you do like Arsenal women's content and maybe women's football in general, we talk about a bit of other women's football as well. Please think about subscribing to the channel. It's going to be a busy Sunday on the channel for watch-alongs. Obviously, the Arsenal men play Watford at 2:00, so I'll be doing a watch-along of that, and I'll be having a couple of hours off for some food, and then it'll be back for the Arsenal women against West Ham, which kicks off at 6:45. So it's going to be a busy day on the channel, but some great football to watch. Hopefully another good weekend for Arsenal, 2 good victories for the men and the women will be a great way to set up the week. And a Champions League week, the only place you can watch Champions League for Arsenal this season is the Arsenal women. So you need to get behind that and enjoy that as well. And I'll obviously be covering that game on Wednesday as well on the channel. And of course, I said I've got tickets to the Cup final on the 5th of December, so I'll be doing some live vlogging from there as well, from Wembley, so that's going to be good. So loads of great stuff coming up. So I'll say please subscribe if you haven't done so already. In Petty Views says I'll tune in. No, good. I look forward to seeing you in the chats again. Good to see. Hope you're well. I say thanks to everybody else for watching. I say this show's been getting quite good views. People seem to be enjoying it, which is great. We'll continue to do it throughout the season and beyond, hopefully, because just enjoy talking about the women, because they deserve it as well, don't they? I mean, it's been good, hasn't it? And then what it's done as well, I think this show for me, it's brought together a little. I think we've got a little community going, haven't we? We've got a little group and that of all of us who come on the show, and some other people as well. So it's good. It's a hopefully we can grow it as well, get a few more people involved as well, and get some different people on the show as well some weeks, to add a little bit of spice to it, if you like. I say it's a shame our West Ham fan couldn't make it, actually, because I was looking forward to getting the views of him tonight. Would have been nice, but unfortunately, I say work sometimes it has to come first, doesn't it? You can't always fit your life around your work, unfortunately. And as well, obviously, we missed Matt tonight as well, didn't we? He couldn't make it either due to work issues. So and Petty Views there says vlogs. Yes, indeed. Yeah, we're going to do some vlog from Wembley, so that'll be good to look out for that later on. But loads more stuff in the meantime, of course. Loads more games to come as well between now and then. We want to park the FA Cup final away for a little bit, don't we? Because we've got a lot of big games that we need to win before then. We need to go into the cup final still top of the league and still flying and winning every game. So let's hope we can do that. And of course, the Barcelona game on a few days later as well. That's going to be a big week for the Arsenal women, isn't it? So we'll be covering that as well. All the way through. So yeah, so thanks to Andreas again. I hope you've enjoyed the show, everyone who's been watching. We'll see you all again next week. I say I'll be live for the in previous it's lovely, so but we're taking the free points. No, exactly, yeah, of course. We want to, we don't want her to enjoy the day too much. I'm sure she'll enjoy being back at Bournemouth, whether she's in the stands or on the pitch or on the bench, wherever she is. I'm sure she'll enjoy being back. But if so, doesn't enjoy it too much, we need to make sure she doesn't by going out and winning the game. That's the main thing. And she can meet up with her old friends in the bar afterwards, can't she? And that'll be that. But not during the game. Let's not be too friendly for those 90 minutes, because that's not how it works, is it? We need to win. So it'd be good to see her anyway. So yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. Please subscribe. Please give this a like if you've enjoyed it. So we'll be back for the women's show next Friday at the usual time of 7:30. I'll be doing the watch-alongs on Sunday, the men and the women. So stay tuned for that. Loads more stuff next week. The Tuesday clinic show on Tuesday, and then the watch along of the Champions League game on Wednesday, and then of course the North London derby for the women again in the WSL next weekend as well. So that's Saturday lunchtime-ish, isn't it? I think so. That's going to be interesting as well. So loads and loads of great stuff coming up. You know, men and women that we cover on this channel. But I think we probably do some of the most women's coverage actually of a lot of the channels that are out there that cover Arsenal. So if it is something that you like, please get involved. And yeah, I look forward to speaking to you again next week, Andreas, and hopefully Matt will be back next week as well, so we can catch up with him. And Amar as well was missing tonight. He was busy, but it was a good show anyway. So good to have Harry back as well. Always nice to chat to him as well. And we look forward to seeing you all again next week. In the meantime, as always, come on, you Gunners! Big weekend. Let's get the win. See you next week.
Yeah.
Cheers, Andreas. See ya.
Bye.